Hi again, Kathy Anderson. I wanted to do a quick screencast to walk you through your course because I find that if you take the time to familiarize yourself with the course early on, it will save you a lot of time overall so that you don't spend time figuring out what you're trying to do and where you're supposed to go when you have time to work on your course. So you're in the Meet Your Instructor link. We're in the Principles of Health Services Administration, HSA 1117. And you're in your Meet Your Instructor link. So that, and then you're going to also want to review this information here, a welcome video here, brief, that again will give you information that'll be helpful. Hopefully you all have your textbook by now. The textbook is bundled with a 10-digit access code that will give you access to the LearnScape simulations, which I'll talk about more in a minute. Very important part of the course. It's actually worth 40% of your total grade, so the assignments that you're going to be writing as a result of watching the LearnScape simulations are a major part of your grade and major significant part of your course. And they are absolutely great experience that you are going to be able to use to upgrade your resume and also to speak to in any future interviews that you have for any other position in healthcare, regardless of whether it's a clinical path or an administrative path. The experience that you are going to gain by working through these LearnScape simulations are something you're going to be able to use, and it's going to help you get the position that you want. All the work is due by Sunday. At the end of day, it should not be late. You want to make sure if there is something does come up that is going to prevent you from turning your work in on time for any course, you want to make sure that you are proactive with your instructor. That the instructor should always hear from you prior to the deadline, not after the deadline to explain, and then you should ask for more time. Don't assume you're going to be getting more time, and contact your instructor after the due date just is not a good idea. So the home page you'll click on, and I do post a lot of announcements. I will be posting announcements, and then the announcements will be here. And then they also send you an email to your Kaiser email account. So be sure that you forward your Kaiser email address to the email address that you check all the time, because you don't want to miss out any information, and you want to make sure that you don't have to always be logged into the course to see your email. It'd be nice if you could get it from your phone. I like to have a lot of contact with my students, and I want to make sure that if you have questions, that you contact me. Again, very important to read all announcements, very important to join the live chats. But then if you have questions beyond that, I want to hear from you, and I think email is the best means to communicate with me. We can always set up time to talk on the phone, but just like you, I see your email on my phone. I like to respond really quickly so that if you are working on something and have a question, I don't want you to wait until I'm logged into the course again to see your question. So be sure to email me with any questions. Your syllabus you're going to want to check out. It's a contract between the instructor and yourself. You click on this link, it'll download the syllabus and then read it over. It talks about how the grades are percentaged out, the discussion, the quizzes, the exams, and the LearnScapes. Like I said, the LearnScapes are 40% of your grade, so there is no way that anybody can pass this course without doing the LearnScapes. So just make sure that you have your textbook that's bundled with that access code. Otherwise, you can purchase the access code separately from the Kaiser bookstore as well. It's a separate ISBN number, but you can purchase it separately if you purchased your textbook from somewhere else. The discussion, you'll have a discussion every week. You post an introduction right away, and then you'll have a discussion. Here's week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. In your introduction, be sure that you click on introductions. I posted an introduction here. And then be sure that you create your own thread by going back. And create thread. And then you can post your name here and then post your own introduction. Introductions are really helpful for me to know where you are in your program, what you're working toward, and a little bit about your personal life. Also, if you're working in healthcare, it's helpful for me to know what you're currently doing because I try to tailor the course as much as possible to be interesting to students and relevant to what they're currently doing or what they want to do in the future. Be sure to check the Start Here link. Very, very important to check out this required LearnScape interactive scenarios. It has a lot of different links. You're going to want to look at every one of these links because you want to make sure that you understand the LearnScapes. This will give you a video overview of how to get set up. If you did purchase your textbook through the Kaiser bookstore, you will have, it comes with two 10-digit codes. One of them is within your book. That gives you some online resources, has nothing to do with access to the LearnScapes. On the back of your textbook, within the shrink wrap, so make sure you don't accidentally throw that away. Within the shrink wrap, you'll have another card, and that will be your LearnScape 10-digit access code. So I have already signed on to, because you'll sign on to the jblcourses.com initially, and then you will redeem your access code. Your screen will look a little bit differently than this. It'll be a bigger box here that'll say redeem an access code. And the first time that you sign on, you'll redeem your access code, set up a username and password, and you only have to do that once. And then once you set that up, you will see that you have HSA 1117 Principles of Health Services Administration. There are LearnScapes and other courses, but you won't have access to them until you take that course. But when you click on Principles, you'll set up your username and password. Again. It won't. And then once you submit, you'll see different LearnScapes. And then the first one is customer satisfaction. That'll be the one for week 1. And then the second one is financial issues. And then you'll have to keep track of the topics because actually your LearnScape for week 3 is not the third LearnScape in the row. It's actually, you got to go down, I think it's the 5th one, the new system. So be sure you don't accidentally do the third LearnScape. Be sure you keep track of the titles. So back to Start Here. Once you look at all those LearnScapes, here's the course resources. You'll have your study guides for your exams, the rubrics for your LearnScape reports, as well as your discussions will be here. You'll submit your certification immediately. You should do that today, as well as doing your pre-test and posting your introduction. So in week 1, you're going to do your pretest right away after you do your certification. The pretest is graded, but it does not is not included in your course grade. So it's just a benchmark to see how much of the information taught in this course you already have learned through other courses or through your own experience and so forth. So in week 1, here's where you click on for the LearnScape. And it tells you what you're going to do. So you're going to go on to that other website, jblcourses.com, redeem your access code, watch the LearnScape simulation. It's really cool. I mean, it's great that you have this experience. It's a 3D simulation where you are functioning as a healthcare consultant. And you're actually interacting with different people from Bright Road Healthcare System. They're discussing a strategic issue that they have, or a customer service issue, or a financial issue, and you're functioning as their consultant. And so then once you watch the LearnScape, you're going to write a report, and you're going to write a report in Word. You're not going to do it within the LearnScape itself. You're going to do it within Word, and then within your report, you're going to identify your role. You're going to state the problem that was discussed in the simulation. You're going to summarize briefly your meetings with the people that you met with, because they each are going to have their own take on what the problem is and what they think the solution is. And then you're going to provide your recommendations along with some reasoning behind them. So you may have the same recommendations as the people have that you met with, but then you're also going to give me your rationale on why you agree with them. And then you're going to add some original thought. You know, you're going to really get out of the box, really great experience, and add some original thought about, if you were a consultant, you know, what would your ideas be? And so I'll talk more every week about each LearnScape for the week in my live chat. And the live chats are typically going to be held on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You click here on the Kaiser Live link, and then it will be set up for you. and then it'll just be join room, and you'll be able to join live if you're able to join live. If you're not able to join live, they will be recorded, and the recordeds will be listed down here. Just make sure that this date, you might have to backdate it to just include the date that the recording was made, or it might not show up. But once this date includes the date the recording was made, you will see the listing of the recordings here, and you just click on it and it'll bring you right to the recording. So it's really, really important that you either join live or watch the recordings. I just can't imagine how students do well in this class if they don't watch the live chats. I give you a lot of information about how to do the LearnScape, what I'm looking for. I give you a lot of information about the concepts you're going to be reading about in your textbook. And I talk a lot about the concepts that are relevant so that you can do a great job on your quizzes and exams. So I do them on Monday nights so that before you get started with your week's work, you have a lot of information about what you're going to be reading about, what you're going to be doing, and what's expected. So really, really important, and students always do better in my courses if they watch or join the live chats. The other thing I wanted to show you about week 1 is there is this How is Healthcare Financed and Provided link. It is very important information about the different roles that different government agencies have in healthcare. So anybody who wants to pursue this type of field, really good information. So as you scroll down, you're going to just be looking at the different information. There is a quiz that you'll see in your grade book. As you scroll down, you'll see it. It's in the middle of these links, the agency quiz. And so you take a brief quiz after you've looked through the information. It is graded, but it is not included in your course grade, just so that you know. But very, important for you to test your knowledge, and so you just go through these. But you'll see it in your grade book, and it is kind of confusing that the quiz is in the midst of these links. And then every week you'll click through your, you'll have a discussion. You'll have possibly a quiz or an exam, and then you will have your LearnScape. Now the LearnScape in week 2 is a little bit different too, because if you click on the week 2 midterm, it's a 2-part midterm. One is a staffing project, and again I'll be talking in detail in the live chat about what you'll be doing, and then your LearnScape for week 2 is actually the second part of your midterm. And then week 3 you'll have a quiz, a discussion, and your LearnScape, and then week 4 you'll have your final and your post-test. You do not have a LearnScape in week 4. So I just wanted to walk you through. If you have any questions, again, be sure you look at all announcements. Be sure you watch the recording of the live chat or join live. And then if you have any questions at all, just email me and I will get back with you as quickly as I can. And if we need to talk on the phone, we'll schedule that. So all work is due by Sunday night. Be sure to interact with me if so that I can help you in any way I can to be sure that you're successful in this class. It's a really good fundamental class that you will benefit from no matter what type of health services path you want to follow in the future. It's a textbook that you'll want to keep and use as a resource for future courses as well as for future type jobs. And just a really good fundamental course that is interesting for anyone that is interested in this topic. So I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to hearing from you.